Naitan Nandez, a brutal foul here on Rodrigo, initially given a yellow. They had a red card review. It was upgraded to a red, the 6th direct red this tournament. Uruguay receiving that yellow card in the 74th minute. They went the duration from that point on. Down a man, but here they are at penalties, and for the 3rd time at this Copa America in the quarterfinal stage, we are off to penalty kicks. Rob, Clint, Carly, and Alexi here with you. There was no Jogo Bonito to be found for Brazil today because Uruguay continually hacking down the opposition. 26 fouls committed, Clint, by far the most of any team this tournament.
Yeah, like you said, it wasn't the most exciting game to watch, especially in the second half. A lot of stop-start. No team really got in a rhythm, and we're going to penalties.
You kind of predicted and expected that Uruguay was going to come in here and disrupt, try to force Brazil into making mistakes, but like you said, Clint, it was a bit painful to watch. These two top teams, you'd love to see some quality play from them.
Exactly, Carly. I mean, these are two of the best teams in the world, and there was no flow, there was no beauty. I mean, a lot of it, let's be honest, was kind of disgraceful, and somebody's got to win, but if they could both lose after this performance, specifically this performance, I wouldn't mind it, but not one, as we say, that we are going to put in the time capsule.
41 combined fouls. That is the most of this tournament, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple fouls during penalty kicks the way this one is going.
But again, we've seen penalties now multiple times in both tournaments. It's not a coin toss.
Hey, we might get a few goals finally.
Yeah, but you gotta now, after that game, you gotta put that 90 minutes away, and mentally you gotta be ready to go. And it's a skill, and it's an acquired skill, and they will have practiced it. And as Stu Holden will tell you, it's mental as much as it is physical. Actually, more than it is physical.
Sergio Rochette, the keeper for Uruguay. Alisson, the captain for Brazil. You guys see an advantage in the nets with either one of those? Pretty straight?
Pretty straight. I mean, there's a lot of substitutions on both sides, though, in the second half. So, is Endrick going to step up as a 17-year-old?
Can you imagine if they let the 17-year-old take one?
It's a big one.
You can see he's looking around,
Some young
pointing.
penalty takers on the Brazilian side for sure. Sabinho as well.
3rd quarterfinal to go directly to penalties here at the Copa America. Argentina survived on penalties. Canada did it yesterday. And now one of these two nations will move on to the semifinals courtesy of a win in penalties. Will it be Uruguay? Will it be Brazil for the call? Once again, we take you back out live to Las Vegas. John Strong and Stu Holden. Guys?
And Rob, one administrative note. Ooh, the players are having to be separated right now. Now you're seeing it. A little bit of a coming together there. Brazil will nominate 10 to go to match the 10 that Uruguay have available because of the red card. And you were making the point there. I mean, as we think about, especially in context of the United States going forward, sometimes this is what it takes if you want to win a knockout stage game, make a semifinal of a big tournament.
Yeah, I think we would love it. All would love that this was just a beautiful display of Jogo Bonito and attacking soccer play, but once the intensity was set by Uruguay, Brazil realized, hey, look, this how we're going to have to win this game. We're going to have to match that, and we've seen that across all of these matches. Ecuador doing the same against Argentina, making life difficult for them, and them having to go the distance and ultimately to penalties. This is what it takes in the knockout stages, and now here we are in the penalty kicks and the pressure and everything that goes into it. One of the big things we've seen recently also is the goalkeepers and the role that they play in trying to psych out an opponent and get in their heads, get them out of their rhythm. Everything is a process, and if you practice it, the process hopefully puts you in a position where you're not thinking about that and you're just executing.
Alisson didn't make a save in the World Cup. He did make a save in the 2019 Copa America. Brazil won on penalties in the quarterfinal on their way to the title. Federico Valverde, his 60th career appearance, goes first and buries it in the corner.
Talk so often about the first penalty really setting the tone for your team. And Valverde, I thought he went just a step quick after that whistle. He was ready to go, but made no mistake about it. That's a penalty where guys pick this corner, doesn't care what the keeper's doing, and he's just going to hammer it, and it was perfectly into the net.
mentioned Sergio Rochet, as good as he's been, has not been in a shootout with Uruguay. Has 2 wins with his club. He lost a shootout in March with his club in Brazil, despite making 1 save.
And a center back, interestingly enough, for Brazil going first here in Militao.
Militao tore his ACL in the season opener for Real Madrid in August. Missed 7 months, didn't play for Brazil for an entire year. And he's been on the bench in the knockout stages at the last 2 Copa America tournaments. He's on the field now, and he will take the first penalty for Brazil in
Couple
the
of hesitations there, too, and how he put the ball back in.
Saved!
Yeah, he just didn't look confident when he put the ball back down on the spot, and then he backed up and he replaced it. That little stutter step on his run-up, and Rochet just anticipated it, got a good look at his body and his run-up and his shape on that, and gets that great save across his body.
Rodrigo Betancourt next up. The Brazilian players support Eder Militao. He made his penalty in 2019 against Peru in the 4th round of the quarterfinal shootout that they eventually lost. He takes now in the 2nd round this year. And scores!
Just a really good, calm process there, and Alisson was waiting to try to
See where Betancourt was going to go, and then went a step too late, and you'll just see there, now he's getting the push off, but it's too late. Ball's already in the corner. 2 good penalties so far from Uruguay.
Andreas Pereira, just his 8th ever appearance for Brazil at the age of 28.
The referee right now, Rochet did this on the first penalty with Militao as well. He's telling him, hey, come on, get in your net here. He's delaying, but this is, again, part of trying to get in the head of the attacking player now to throw him off his rhythm.
He's going to dance around now, Rochet. Just in that bottom corner from Andreas Pereira.
Yeah, that's a good penalty because he disguises it well. You see at the last minute, he comes across his body to send Rochet the wrong way. Good disguise where he was going to place that ball.
Now Georgian de Arrascaeta, who plays in Brazil for Brazil's former manager. He's been team of the season in the Brazilian league for the last 5 years. And puts it in the top corner.
These are hard for the keeper to stop when it's that high. Of course, you're running the risk that you might just kiss the crossbar as well. But you'll see Alisson goes the right way, but there's no way he's getting his hand up to that, especially unless he's taking a huge leap. It's a really tough spot for the goalkeeper. Great penalty.
Douglas Luiz went 2 years between games played for Brazil until he was brought back in November. Coming off a career season at Aston Villa, he'll be joining Juventus once this tournament ends. He's trying to keep Brazil just 1 away here.
Stared out right now with Rochet too, and he's not even moved.
Saw from Ivan Toney for England, right? Didn't even look at the ball. Just stared down the goalkeeper. Off the post!
Stare down with Rochet. Rochet, you can see he was clapping his gloves before. He's watching him the whole way, but then he committed to it. He just overcooked it, brought it way too far across his body, off the post and out. And a huge chance for Uruguay now to punch their ticket to the semifinal.
Jose Maria Jimenez, his 87th international appearance, only was on because Ronald Araujo came off hurt. His penalty attempt was saved at the last Copa America in the shootout loss. This one is to win it. Jimenez to send Uruguay to the semifinal. save by Alisson, and Brazil is alive.
The lifeline for Brazil. What a save it is, but it's not the best penalty. It gives him a chance. It's close enough to his body. It's not in the corner from Jimenez, and Alisson read that one the whole way.
Brazil are out of the woods yet. They have to be perfect the rest of the way. And it's Gabriel Martinelli at his first ever Copa America, who needs to make this now in the fourth round to keep Brazil alive as a nervous Vinicius Jr. looks on in the stands here in Las Vegas. And he does.
He runs straight over to his goalkeeper right now. Alisson, who they are going to need once again to come up with a huge save. This is a good penalty. Rachet wasn't sure of which way he was going to go, so he actually gets caught this time indecisive. Doesn't know where he's going to go, gets a late push. Good penalty, cool, calm, and composed. Now a chance for Ugarte, who I felt had an excellent game for Uruguay tonight.
Didn't play at the World Cup, has never been to a Copa America. Had to wait for others in front of him to retire and make way, but Manuel Ugarte can now win the shootout for Uruguay with this kick. Yes!
What a huge result for Uruguay, and it didn't matter how. And when people look back at this moment for them, getting to a semifinal, they're not going to see how the game was played tonight. But they were the better team on the day, and they forced Brazil to play in a style that suited what Uruguay wanted most, which was a fight. And they fought, they kept them under pressure, they had good goal-scoring opportunities, they couldn't convert, they go down a man with a red card, hung on at the end, get to penalties, and this team finds a way, and you can really feel something special building under Bielsa right now. There's a belief to this Uruguayan team, and they've knocked off the famous Brazil. I don't care what version of Brazil it is, it's Brazil. And the celebration's going on the field right now, and boy, that semifinal against Colombia is going to be something.
You know who else doesn't care what version of Brazil it was or how it looked? The radio broadcasters from Uruguay to our left here in Las Vegas, who are going absolutely bananas as we send you back to Rob Stone in Los Angeles.